Mario Balotelli. When I say the word crazy, if there's one player who perfectly represents that word, it's Super Mario. Balotelli is one of the most mediatized players in the history of football, not only for his pure talent, but also for his countless stories off the pitch, which have often made the headlines. The very definition of a bad boy, but a bad boy who made us all laugh at least once. Balotelli has accumulated a series of fracas, incidents, and controversial behaviors that have damaged his career and contributed to the legend of this extraordinary player. His impulsive character and tendency to find himself in outlandish situations have earned him as many admirers as detractors. In this video, we take a look back at the most memorable, the most surprising, and above all, the craziest moments in Mario Balotelli's life. Let's start with his early career at Inter Milan. Although the young Mario showed undeniable potential, his relationship with Jose Mourinho, his coach at the time, quickly deteriorated due to his lack of maturity. You may be familiar with this famous anecdote told by the Special One. During a Champions League match against Rubin Kazan, all the Inter strikers were injured, so Mario was the only one available to Mourinho. The young striker received a yellow card just before halftime, which threatened Mourinho's plans. The coach spent the whole break talking to his player, telling him not to get angry, not to take a second yellow because he had no one on the bench. The result?
Minute 46.
No way.
Red card.
No way.
Jose Mourinho loves telling anecdotes about Balotelli. As he says himself, "I could have written a book about my 2 years in Milan with Mario." Another anecdote between the Special One and Super Mario is the one about Formula 1. You'll quickly understand why the relationship between the two is pretty intense. Mourinho recounts, "I told him to meet me on Saturday at 2 p.m. in my office for a meeting, and he never showed up. When I called him, he was at the Formula 1 Grand Prix qualifiers taking place on Sunday. I said to him, 'Mario, I wanted you to come and see me in my office at 2 p.m. And he replied, "I can have meetings in your office every day, whereas Formula 1 is only held once a year in Italy." Jose Mourinho would later declare that Mario Balotelli was impossible to manage, and it's easy to see why. But Super Mario's finest anecdote was undoubtedly at Manchester City. The Italian striker stayed there for 3 seasons, from 2010 to 2013, for a memorable period, both on and off the pitch. The most famous is certainly the one involving fireworks. In October 2011, while living in an apartment in Manchester, Balotelli was found by police with fireworks in his apartment, after a fire broke out due to a mishandled firework. The incident provoked a cascade of mockery and criticism of the player, who had to justify his behavior by explaining that he had set off the fireworks to celebrate a match he had won. Another highlight of Balotelli's time at City was his behavior during a friendly game in the middle of the summer. When he found himself one-on-one with the opposing goalkeeper, the whimsical striker wanted to show off his technique and sent in an improbable roulette in complete relaxation, even though he was alone in front of the goal. An attitude that did not sit well with his coach Roberto Mancini. Let's continue, still in Manchester, with darts. I don't know what you do when you're bored, but Mario threw darts at youngsters from City's training center. Sounds like fun? Don't worry, nobody was hurt, except Balotelli's bank account. Yes, the player was fined €113,000 for this completely absurd gesture. And I've been telling you about his relationship with his coaches all along. But Super Mario, he left great memories with his teammates too. Micah Richards, the famous CBS consultant in England, played alongside the Italian striker at City. In the summer of 2014, the defender committed to FIO and then asked Balotelli for advice in Italian for his introduction to the club. Micah Richards continues his story. "I meet the coach Montella. I approach him, shake his hand and say, 'Testa di cazzo.' Yes, as you can imagine, testa di cazzo doesn't mean hello. Yeah, that's a real Balotelli joke. In fact, he came very close to fighting with many of his teammates, including Micah Richards. But the list goes on, with names like Rio Ferdinand, Vincent Kompany, Jerome Boateng, and Alexander Kolarov. But if you think he stopped there, you're wrong. Here's a list of Mario Balotelli's crazy moments, some of which you can find on his Instagram account. It's no secret that he hates training. Let's just say, it's not his thing. He prefers to rest, and that's only when he comes to training. And filmed or not, Mario doesn't care. Look at that. It's almost art. He's so much in his own world, the complete opposite of Cristiano Ronaldo, good old Mario. A quick aside, but still in training, Mario is funny despite himself. Sometimes the brain disconnects, like on this video with his shoelaces, or on this one with his shirt that he's having trouble putting on. The guy actually calls an assistant to help him put on a vest. He likes to carry cash. One day, a policeman pulls him over and asks him why he has 30,000 euros in cash in the backseat of his car. Mario, like Batman, replies, "Because I'm rich."
I'm rich.
He's crazy. He's really living in a world of his own. Let's have one last but very juicy one for the road. At the end of 2010, Mario Balotelli and his little brother Enoch, then aged 17, were arrested in a women's prison in Brescia. Yes, you heard me right. When asked why they were there, Mario is said to have replied, "We just wanted to see what such a place might be like." How do I continue after that? And imagine that there are plenty of other anecdotes to discover about him. He should really think about writing a book about his life. It's so crazy. And if you think that he stopped Mario, you really don't know him very well. He's back in Serie A this year with Genoa, and he's as crazy as ever. First of all, he comes on during the match, and 9 minutes later, he gets a yellow card, but that's Balotelli in action. But after the match, instead of giving away his shirt as requested by the Genoa fans, Super Mario preferred to give them his shorts. Yeah, he went back to the dressing room wearing his underwear with a big smile on his face. He'll never change, Mario. But having said all that, we almost forget the essential. Mario Balotelli was a great player, and he's got quite a career behind him. In 2010, under Jose Mourinho, he won the famous treble with Inter Milan, Italian Cup, Champions League, and Serie A. He went on to win the Serie A title 3 times with the Nerazzurri. Another impressive fact about him is that he is still the only Italian to have won the Premier League in 2012 with Man City. In fact, on Agüero's famous goal, he was the decisive setup man. For the record, it was Balotelli's only assist for Agüero in a year and a half. He also won an English Cup with the Sky Blues. But the greatest feat of his career was undoubtedly that Euro 2012 semi-final against Germany, in which Balotelli scored a brace against Neuer and signed one of the most legendary celebrations in football history. Mario Balotelli's incredible potential, memorable goals, personality like no other, smiles, crazy celebrations, outbursts. He's a bit of all of the above. Mario Balotelli's story is that of an immense talent who never reached his full potential. Although his off-field misadventures and behavior have often overshadowed his footballing achievements, he remains one of the most gifted players of his generation. Balotelli may not have had the career he deserved on the pitch, but he remains a fascinating figure in modern football. So, for all this madness, thank you, Super Mario. That's it. That's the end of this video. Don't hesitate to tell us if you liked it and share your favorite Balotelli anecdote in the comments.